every single invoice, and you told me I shouldn't have. Except for the one.
That's okay, so you know what I did? She took care of those, she gave me my check back, so I just.
All right, we're
But I
live.
paid for,
Where is your
grease,
farm?
and I didn't have to.
Where is your farm? Your farm, where is your Culver Road?
Because she
Culver
didn't get
Road
it
where?
adjusted.
Where on Culver?
She has been doing all of that.
Two S
So I need
curves
to
going
send
up
her
the
an
hill. I got the brick
Yes,
house with the federal
I mean, you
road
can always send it to me.
on both sides
Check
of the
my
road,
email.
Okay, I guess.
right behind Coles. The
Oh, okay.
property Right behind Coles.
Oh, okay,
I don't know if
okay.
she still does, but she used to answer my email, and didn't say it wasn't me.
So, sir, yours is not where the cars go through the front yard all the time, right? You say at the curb, so.
There's two S curves going west, you come to one curve, then you come to another curve, and then you go up a little hill.
Because the one family was on the news because I guess cars
She
go,
said,
they have so
The
many
United
accidents,
States
the
is
cars
22
miss that turn.
They're always
$1
trying to get
trillion
somebody
you
to
got.
pull them out of the ditch.
they
when
have
try to
the
take
audacity
curve.
to try and give me.
We had the same problem when I grew up in Dairy County, in Dairy County, and.
I'm like, does she know how?
Yeah,
Do you know if
one
that's
roll
their
hits completely over, he
Still more dead.
missed the curve and hit in the ditch and he flipped over and ended up on top of his car out back out on the road.
We had a guy hit a tree, and that tree went near him in our living room all the time. And then we had plenty of stuff up a hill and then sliding back down, we'd have to help him.
Crazy.
Thank you for sending that info over from,
Oh, you're welcome. I printed it for you guys too. I pasted it into a one pager from him.
See anything new, other than what he already told us on.
Yeah.
Well, the top paragraph was, I think, where he was trying to answer your specifics that wasn't in this.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing is, it's a little late for him, he's already watched that.
Over here.
It's already.
Yeah, I'll be in the way if I'm not there.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. He's gonna have to get it.
I
He's
sent,
gonna have to
but
get it.
right now, can you turn on the sound?
There is regardless.
They just turn on the.
Have to go to the appeals board.
yeah.
And you know what, I was actually gonna mention
Oh, I
that
don't know
tonight,
how to move.
that I think. Let me know when you're ready, Ms. Chair.
Yeah, I agree.
With this thing? Yeah, there's only one thing I was really concerned about.
There's an extra one up here.
Presented with all of the documents. But I
Well,
would
I
say,
don't know about that. There's one thing I don't mind.
well, they'll have to change it anyways when it gets to that level. We really can't change anything.
We could do a recommendation.
Is that
You
point?
do the recommendation, that's what I
Recommendation,
know, but I mean, it's going to be up to the trustees to take that recommendation.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Patricia, are you ready?
No, I.
Bring it on.
Oh, boy, wait.
You're on. I call this regular meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, February 13th, and the time is 6:05 p.m. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please. Shelley Marie Atkins. Yes. David Eason.
Here.
Patricia McIntyre. Here. Adam Kelly.
Here.
Stephen Smith.
Here.
Great, we're here. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda? Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And are there any comments for announcements and comments for zoning commission?
No.
Nothing?
I have one little announcement. It's not a big deal thing, but I happened to come across correspondence from the senator, and I'm saying this for whoever's watching, might be relevant. Senator Tim Schaefer's office, they're doing their budget for 25 to 26, the Ohio, the one-time strategic community investment fund. So they have grants available for a myriad of things, a lot of which are things that are like on the township and everybody's list that you just never get to. And, just wanna put that out there, and I'll leave a copy with, the trustees, an example of certain things, grants for emergency response and infrastructure, memorials and monuments, nature garden conservation centers, nature preserves, parks, conservatories, recreational bike trails. What else jumped out at me as relevant? Those are just a few examples, but there's a whole list and it tells what's eligible and then things that aren't eligible. And I'll leave it with Gary.
Shelley, where is that? Those are state funds or federal funds?
They would, it didn't specify, but from what I know of it, it's the state funds.
He is a state senator.
All right, so thank you for that. Anybody else have any other comments about anything on that? All right, good. Is there a motion to waive the public reading and approve the minutes from the January 23rd, 2024 meeting as presented?
I will move to waive public reading.
Is there a second?
Second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we have the comprehensive plan. That is our wonderful old business. Everyone, did you get to review the new email with all the different changes and everything that Laura sent to us?
Yes.
I might be able to print this for you to sign until we're done, and I'll have to. You know where I live, I'm not so far. I can stay around. Now, any questions? I think you have a question or something or comment.
Well, I just keep going back to this Schuster Way extension.
What page are you on?
Well, it's mentioned on page 40. It's number 7 on that grid on page 40, talking about the road improvements that we needed. And then it's the map for it is on page 45. And it's like they're cutting it right. They want to cut it right across the residential area, and I just don't get it. I was hoping that somebody would be there to ask further questions, because I don't see the need for it. I get they're trying to connect to areas without going up through 310, but that doesn't, what they're proposing doesn't go all the way over to 310, it doesn't look like. So I'm not sure.
Oh, you're talking about that. All right, I got you.
Yeah, I went over there, and it would go right through all these people's homes, or their residential area. And Palmer Road's right there, and I don't think any of them should have semis running through it regularly. I know they want to extend Etna Parkway down, so we would be going from Etna Parkway, the new extension of Etna Parkway, east, but it doesn't get all the way to 310. Well, I guess it would eventually get to Schuster Road. But it just seems like we'd be cutting through a lot of residential lots. It would be unwise. It seems like it would be best just to use 40. And if they're concerned about 310 and 40, then they should prepare for it. You know, they'd be better suited to prepare for it there.
I had thought maybe that should be erased and maybe stenciled in somewhere else or not even put in there at all. I remember Jim had said that it wasn't a set plan, it wasn't a set ODOT plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when we discussed it during the committee, we talked about here's Schuster here, here's the development we have, the prospective development, the traffic we have, the traffic. He said, we'll need something right in here, and he sketched it in, which seemed, okay, oh, it's gonna be somewhere right in here, just put it there. But then, as residents brought to our attention, it's showing up on other maps somewhere, like this is a legit proposal, where incidentally, all the ODOT, the committee never discussed specific proposal for this traffic or that traffic. We just kind of discussed it in general and looked at what was out there. So if this was just sketched in there, and there's no road proposed or on anybody's real plans, official plans, other than maps that are going around, I'd like to request it be moved out of here altogether or shifted. If we need something right in here, why not shift it?
Well, they could do it on FedEx's property.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't,
Why not?
yeah, I don't see,
I'm sorry. I said that.
I just don't see putting it the way they want. I know they want to disconnect Schuster Way with the Etna Parkway extension. It's not there yet either. But that area would just be right through the residential. You don't want somebody running through there.
No.
I think it would be a mistake. Just run, if they wanted to do it, they'd run it behind FedEx's property maybe, but.
And if that's left on there, it could be mistaken as an official proposed road, and
Yeah,
I don't want anyone to get that idea.
yeah, especially when you got 310, or actually you get 40 right there.
I don't think Jim made that up, he got it from somewhere.
No, he told me he made it.
Pardon?
He set up the meeting, because I asked that question where he got this map, and he said that him and his team drew it and made it up.
Yeah, he said they drew that line there, proposed that.
Because I asked all the, because number 7,
Yeah.
well, on the old map, was my house.
Yeah.
It was literally going through my house, and I was like, who made this? Where did it come from? And why is it going through my living room?
Yeah, it's not just yours. I mean, there's a lot of homes through there.
I think Jim made the map, but to Dave's point, I thought he was supposed to tell you where he got his absolute information from then.
He was
Gave him that road.
correct.
Is that what you were asking?
Yeah.
Why did he put the road there?
Right.
On the map?
That's what we kind
I
of.
thought he was supposed to help you guys by giving you where he,
Yeah, well, he's not here to tell us, but
We never
I
got a clear
remember
answer.
him saying he wants to, because if they're going to extend Etna Parkway south,
What's your address?
and they
10141 Tollgate Road, Southwest.
and they want to be able to get people to 70 without going to 310 and 40, that would be the way to do it. But I don't think that's wise. I think they should just prepare 310 and 40 for the traffic, honestly.
What I kind of got from what he said was that there needs to be a connection between those two paths.
Yeah.
This wasn't necessarily the connection, like a straight line, it could deviate or it could go.
Yeah.
But it simply implied that road would be extended so that the trucks and so on could bypass 310 and get onto the freeway easier.
Yeah, but I don't think
years ago when Amazon first opened, before Prologis totally pulled out, that area was discussed with that, withdrawn like that.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard them, I
I mean, if they
personally
move
haven't
further
heard
north,
them talk
maybe.
about that connection in a long time.
I think it's just the 90-degree angle.
Yeah, it's just a
Schuster Way,
90-degree
that
angle
Parkway.
because according to, this is Google Earth. You can see it. Here's the road that we're discussing, right here, that's her house. So it'll go right through
Yeah.
and go all the way here because they're wanting to connect that to that.
But if they wanted to make it up north a little bit.
Yeah, they're
But
like
still.
right here in between is just.
Yeah, but still you're talking about right behind people's residential home.
Right, but all we have to do is make it down on the road.
Where, well, down in Palmer? Yes, Palmer can't handle
That
that
Schuster
traffic.
Road
Yeah.
is,
That's what
that
I
was
was
when
told.
that was when Prologis
That
was
is
saying
in
they
the
were
talking
talking
about
about
for many years.
limited access
He's
on
in the
that,
east
on
one, one
70
phone.
there, but I haven't.
But I know this is not what we're keeping. So,
In like years.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I really didn't care for.
I'm one of the people that want to see the aerial view.
Yeah, I actually drove over there as well.
Well, I've looked at it,
Yeah.
I've talked to the lady, so I know what the issue is.
Yeah. So okay, sorry, I know what I'm thinking. Can't we, if we're going to recommend this to the board, can we make an amendment for this map to be adjusted?
to remove that?
I think what you would do is just take your motion, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, but you would take your motion and you're just gonna list out anything that you recommend be modified.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Just like you would on a rezoning, and I think you're just gonna make a motion and say, I recommend on page 40 and page 45,
Yeah.
the reference to Schuster Way be removed or something like that.
'Cause
And then you list any other changes you guys have.
Right, because I was thinking about this, like, I was gonna mention this in the next meeting, because I didn't think you were here. But since you're here, I'm gonna move back a little. You can still hear me, can't you? I have a pretty loud voice, all right. So, just so I can see everybody. What I was gonna recommend is that whatever issues that we do have, that we see that we want to amend, we'll just tell it when we, send this for approval.
Yeah.
So, other than that,
My only question would be is, I don't know if we wanna reference it in the printed copy he gave you, or we reference it from that one. But I wrote those page numbers down.
I would reference it from that, because that is the newest thing that he has
And
sent
we
us.
just reference it that all these modifications are from the email. link
Yeah, because
received
everything
or
else we
something.
wanted to change, they changed on the other one.
Right.
It was 40 and 40.
He said 40 and 45.
Okay.
40 has the grid and 45 has the map.
Okay, and I saw you pulling it up there, and I was trying to pull it up on the phone. Anything else that anyone saw that stuck out to you that we need to address before we move this on?
I have a quick question about Schuster. Do we want to remove the reference to the entire Schuster Road, or the Schuster Road as sketched to the west of Tollgate?
Well, you're not gonna remove the whole road, the road's already in.
The extension is,
Right,
but I think we should remove the whole extension,
Like section.
so
personally.
when Brown Run
40 is
is
right
going,
there.
right?
Yeah, 40 is right there, I don't see why we want to run anything commercial through that area, right here. 40 is right there.
I agree with you, because that's too much of a residential area.
If they want to work on, if they're concerned about traffic around 310 and 40, then they can, they're already, the 310 and 40 is already up for being modified, they can fix it there. True.
That's what you put, I think that's what the intent would be if you remove it here, because that's what it's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you remove it in both places, that's doing what you're saying.
Right.
Which means Schuster would just stop at one's.
That's that.
Right.
And the 310 and 40 is already on there. If I remember right, there's already proposed
I think it was.
improvement on 310 and 40.
Yeah.
310.
So we're moving,
I don't see anything about 40. Is it on the next page?
Let's see. I-70 interchange, maybe that's. 310 US 40, yeah, it's number 13 on page 40. I'm sorry, 43. Did I say 40? It was 43, not 40.
Now this one is on 40, so now you're going to 43.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So, yeah, 43 has intersection improvements. So the other one had road improvements. This one had, so 43 has intersection improvements. And number 13 is State Route 310 and 40.
And I don't see anything on the other, it's just the way on that page, so the only thing you're changing is still 40 and 45.
Right, yeah, but if they're already gonna work on that interchange anyway, then they should just account for that. Personally, that's how I feel about it. I mean, we talked about it a little bit,
No,
but that's my feeling.
I agree. I mean, because, yeah, it's a big deal, isn't it?
We already got 40 and 70 right through there.
I know.
So,
Well, I don't get why you take it off of or state highways to put through residential. There's so many school buses already that have difficult times over there. Like, why would you, and we aren't even supposed to have semis on that side of 70, period.
Right.
So I don't have a problem if they're talking, but none of that's gonna be on the record.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Yeah, we
ask,
may
is she
need you to
steps
go up there if you, I mean, I don't mind you giving a comment, because those are excellent comments, especially about this matter, because personally it affects you.
Yeah, if you wanna be on record, you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
Either
ask
right
you-
now or later,
Yeah.
I don't know how you wanna open it up, I know we got public
Just go
comments.
ahead and like state where your address and your name.
Yeah,
and
3
everything
Jones
like that.
Lab, 3-10141, Tollgate Road, Southwest.
And just for the record, we are discussing, the Schulster Way, am I saying that correct? Extension.
Schuster way.
Schuster Way, which personally affects this resident. So I'm sorry, can you repeat what you were saying so we can get you on record?
Yeah, I was just stating that I don't think that semi-trucks should be going away from state highways on 40 and 310 to go through a residential area with school buses and young children.
Okay. Appreciate that, thank you.
Can I ask one further question? You alluded from the gallery about you talking to somebody at ODOT and they had not proposed.
Yeah, and I mean, you can go to ODOT's website. They have all of their upcoming for the next, I think, like 7 years. And there's not any maps there. When I came here, that was my first question. I said, hey, where did this map come from? Well, me and my team made it. Okay, why is number 7 through my living room? And I made a joke about serving Semi's coffee. No one liked it, but tough crowd. No, but I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yes, when we did ask, we really didn't get a direct answer.
No, because I
Yeah,
mentioned the
information was
only
given.
time that I've seen it is from developer plans.
Correct.
And he asked if I was alluding if he was working with developers, and I said, I didn't say that. I just found it interesting because I've lived in my house for 3 years, and I've seen the maps with my last name on my property. I've also seen where the Harveys want to make that side of 70 into an international, another warehouse, where I think Cushman and Wakefield want that property and build warehouses on that side of 70, which would make sense to have an industrial road right there, but it's not zoned for that, and it shouldn't be there. We shouldn't be welcoming it.
Okay.
We've already got residents there.
Yeah, so this is why we're gonna address this, because I feel because we was not given a direct answer, I think it shouldn't be removed.
Well, the fact that Shelley Marie kind of gave some insight, because she was on the panel too, and I think there was even questions there.
Right, you were questioning it as well, and you wasn't given a direct answer, is that right? Or what he said was,
He said the exact same thing. He said the exact same thing, very vague.
Yeah.
Somewhere in here.
I'm not questioning the gentleman's integrity, but there's something gray there that I don't like.
I wasn't either, I just thought it's interesting to me when I've seen different maps with roads through my house.
Well, it's not like that was a secret meeting, it was just.
No, it was an open-
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah,
I never,
but it's just,
I just don't
maybe
know
it
why.
was something he wasn't aware of, where he did get it, he just decided, oh, look, it's there, or something, I don't know.
It must have been discussed in that CAC meeting. Shelley, you were there. Was it brought up?
I told you, it was the same vague as here. We discussed it. We're gonna need, well, they started the Schuster Way extension. We'll probably need it somewhere in here and close to 40.
Yeah.
Right.
And just kind of sketched it in there, and that's how that went.
Okay.
It seemed, in the same way it was presented when we were here last,
Right.
which sounded plausible to me.
But nobody
But
questioned the actual need.
We had no reason to question it until we hear it showing up on developers' maps.
Yeah, that would have to be a super, like, 1 in a million coincidence for that to happen.
Well, if you're gonna connect, I mean,
I
if you're
don't
gonna
know.
expand, if you're gonna bring in the parkway down and you wanna go straight across, that's how you would have to do it.
Yeah, that would be.
So that makes sense, but I don't think there's need.
With so many different people looking at development in that area, I'm not surprised that it could, that more than one person could come up with that idea. But nonetheless, since it keeps coming up here,
Correct.
It is, so the Etna Parkway extension, that's part of it, and is that, that's going south into, it's gonna go south over 70, I think it looks like. They wanna go from 40 down to where it's parallel with the Schuster Way, I don't know why, because that's not zoned either, for, that's still agricultural, if I remember right.
I believe you are correct.
So I'm not sure that's necessary either. But I'd have to look at the zoning and see how that's zoned. So, that one's zoning map is so small.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's, that's the one, it's purple on here, I don't know what purple is.
What page did you find it?
I'm just looking at the zoning map that we have on our township,
Oh, okay, got you.
to see how it's general business.
I have in my paper copy.
South of 70 is, so I guess I could get going down to 70 where it's general
There's
business.
some M1 there, just south of 70 as well on that road.
There's what?
M1?
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
South of 70? On
Yeah.
where Etna Parkway would be going?
Oh, I know.
Yeah. On,
It's
well,
just
on
there.
Broadway.
It's just there,
That's why they want to go there. Okay.
southeast corner.
If it's already zoned for it, then I get that, I suppose.
Okay, page
Yeah, there.
92.
That's I think it was there.
Page 92?
Page 92 on Jim's final online draft.
Oh, 92?
Yes.
Oh, very nice.
I'm pretty sure I got the right one.
Is that proposed zoning or is that current zoning?
Yeah, future land use map. That's what 92 is.
Yeah, I was curious about the current zoning.
The current zoning's ag over there.
When he's talking about Contugio's Corners M1, that's what Dave was referencing. Contugio's property's M1 at the corner of Tollgate and 70 on
But Etna
the
Parkway,
southeast.
what, 92 there it is.
And the Parkway would turn. Did you find it?
Yeah, I found it,
What page are you on?
92. So, because Etna Parkway stops at 40 now.
92's got tagged as a future land use map.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah, that's not how it's zoned currently.
No. That's how it will be.
That's what they proposed it to be. I was just questioning the need to extend Etna Parkway south of 40 if it's already, if it's just zoned, if it's zoned for agricultural.
I think because looking ahead, the idea was it's probably not going to stay agricultural.
Well, it's
I was trying to look at the
possible.
Look at people.
But it isn't, I don't think it is currently zoned agricultural there. I think it's south of 70 it is, but between 40 and 70 it's not. So I get extended that makes sense. So I guess, I don't think we need to do that. It's the Schuster Way stuff.
Okay. Okay, so page 40 and 45, we're proposing to remove the Schuster Way extension. Anything else?
There's a section in there on current residential development, and it shows up in the booklet, page 121. I don't know where it is in the new one. Anyway, there's 2 Broyles Farm developments mentioned there in that table. Do we have 2 Broyles Farm developments? 2 developments of the same name? One has 193 units and the other one has, well,
I see two, Dave, but they look redundant, don't
I
they?
guess they're both the same. I think it's just
Yeah,
redundant.
there's
Yeah,
just
they look
one.
redundant, yeah, I see
And
two.
that's already in place, I mean, they're doing
What
it
page
now.
was that?
Yeah, it's behind you.
Current.
Could you
Yeah,
repeat
yeah,
that?
just
What page
just
is that?
one
I'm
page.
sorry.
In the booklet, it's 121.
21?
I don't know where it is in there because the numbers change.
Okay, so it's under element number 9, housing, if that helps.
Those were some of the things that he never came back to us. We had stopped, with Shelley and I met with him, we stopped before then. He fixed a lot of things.
Element number 9.
You sure it's in the new one?
Getting to it.
It's right under housing.
It is page 131.
It's element 9.
Oh, it's 31, that's 10 pages off.
Yes,
29.
131.
129. 129.
That's it,
Right there.
right there.
Oh, 129, I'm
He
sorry.
hadn't corrected it.
It has royals at the top and royals at the bottom.
Yeah, he had not corrected it.
That's fine.
Unless we have two royals developments,
They're exactly the same amount of units.
the same numbers and everything.
Well, on page 129,
Table 14. Yeah. That's a good catch, Dave.
Yeah, that is because
Okay,
Dave is on it.
I'm sorry, what page on that?
129.
I'm showing 133.
Up here it's telling me 129.
Let's see.
And down here it's telling me 133, so that's interesting.
Sure enough.
They probably don't think of like table contents as pages or something. No, okay.
Okay,
Maybe
So-
he hasn't- I think in the email he said some of that stuff hadn't fully been updated, so maybe his page was on all that. I think he can find it. I will.
so it's listed twice.
On page 129 of the book, if you have that handy, there's a paragraph there that he kept off the new version, and I was just wondering why. Maybe if any of you look, this paragraph right here.
This one?
Yep. The last paragraph. It seemed pretty relevant to me.
In the book, he's on page
129 in the book.
129, so it would be, okay, so hold on. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Should be 140 according to the page number on there. Maybe, no?
Okay, it's under element 10.
Look under number 5, so it's probably,
Element 10, 5.
So then it's really gonna be page 141.
141.
And you're talking about the last page, last piece of
The
J,
last
right?
paragraph, number
Last piece of J,
J.
yes.
Yeah, the last paragraph was omitted for some reason, and there's plenty of space to have it on the pages that seem to be hidden. I just was curious about it.
So he's missing J.
I have it online.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
It's on page 142.
Yeah, J is what I'm talking about.
Community residents, and it's
It's not on the line that I saw.
Cut it off.
He cut it off, this other part
Cut it
right here
off.
is gone. Because he cut it to here, but he left all this out.
Oh, by integrating diverse array of professions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's really page 142.
Yeah, it's just not there. There's a blank 143 and it's not there.
So
I
it's
thought it
missing part of it.
defined the
It's missing-
implementation committee pretty well. And I thought,
Yeah, this is missing this
Yeah, I
last
agree.
paragraph.
It looks like it should have been on 143 and it's just not. Well, there's room on 142 for that.
There's definitely, yeah, 142 has plenty of room.
That's what I'm looking for, I don't know what else.
Because he even changed the format according to its, like, this, you know, it's not,
happens sometimes when you don't have the highlights on it.
Yeah.
It's something you figure out.
it maybe,
Dave, I think that was outstanding fine, and I would like to see that. I think I would like to see that paragraph put back in there.
It's probably just an omission.
Yeah.
My guess is he did it by mistake. You know, sometimes you can be working on something, you accidentally highlight it, and then you delete the whole thing and don't realize it. I made a note on it, but my guess is he
So
probably
am I.
knocked it off.
I mean, I've worked on that before, like that, and you can't take anything for granted.
Okay, anything else?
One of the things that we talked about was the wells. He did put a map in there that shows the wells in the township, you know, homes with wells. But he, in one of the earlier versions, he also had a map of the aquifers, the underground rivers that feed the well, and that's not included. And I thought he was gonna add that, but he didn't. So, it's just something that, since we're raising some issues with him, we might as well get a clarification.
Map of the aquifers?
Aquifers, yeah. I know some of the other townships are having a terrible problem with, like, New Albany and other towns are worried about water because Intel needs over 1 million gallons a day. That's a lot. in my mind.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'd like to see that map in there, just since
So,
this is
so far, other than the one about Schuster's Way, these are corrections he needs to make because they're more like a typo.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we should get that to him after this meeting, not so much part of your motion to proceed.
Oh,
Gotcha.
sure.
So these two, I'll put an asterisk beside that, we won't mention that in the,
Well, you, right now I have three.
three.
He's got the aquifers and the wells, and then you got the page 142, and then the table 133 or whatever on the Wolves Farm.
Yeah,
So I have
Wolves
three
Farm.
things that are more like a typo.
Yeah, so right now, we only have one amendment, 3 typos, or 3,
Corrections, verifications.
corrections.
Well, so the things that we really talked about last time that we wanted, there were 3 of them. Schuster Road was one of them. There was also the 3 houses per acre density issue, and I think the other one was the zoning.
Before you move on that, Dave, did you have any more that were more like typos or grammar corrections?
Did you see more? Did you see any more grammar or corrections that you needed?
Oh, yeah, there's.
Oh,
Is
I
that
can
something?
work with him on those.
okay,
Is that something we should just have Dave work on all of those? And then we
that
don't
would be
have-
good.
We made it back to about 70 or 80% of the book, and he was supposed to get back with us, but never did. And so he missed a few things. But we'll get it.
So you would like to move forward, you and maybe Shelley helping you with that?
Yep.
Are you okay with
I
that?
don't know if I'm available to help. I mean, if I am,
If
I
you're
can.
available, yes.
Sure.
Since you helped with him in the past?
Yes.
Okay.
So for the record, you guys aren't gonna talk about each individual thing this evening, we're gonna let Dave get with him.
For the record, yes.
So
Yeah,
now
for-
you're gonna move to
yeah,
stuff that you
corrections,
guys
yeah.
wanna talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Sounds
probably
good
a
to
better use for
Thank
time.
you.
Yeah, I
All right.
think they did an excellent job.
All right, next one was, yes, the density. About 3
Yes.
versus 4.
Right. So, I asked about how they came around with 3, and it turns out it was a matter of a problem with schools. Most of the schools, the kids are coming from single family homes. And so they thought we should keep it 3 just to keep the schools from getting overwhelmed
Okay.
with kids.
So I know, like I said before, this is just a
That's what
guide.
Shelley said.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
believe if something had to be amended, that's what zoning appeals is for. Well, what do you guys think about that?
Well,
I mean, do you want to keep it at 3 or do you want to recommend 4?
Let me go ahead and, so everybody can hear,
Just like,
because we did talk about that once, and you might have seen it in the email. And what it was, when the commission thought that, yeah, we definitely need to add a little more housing, and by the time we did that, then we looked at it from the school's perspective, and we had representatives from the school on the commission as well. And like, that's really gonna impact the schools. So the consensus was keep the recommended housing zoning that we had on there, and then drop the density down to 3 to kind of lessen the impact of school. So that's kind of a whole of the discussion on that.
Okay. So it was because of an impact with school, I know you said that, just be.
That, and we wanted to maintain all of the residential zone, we didn't want to cut any of it back out.
Gotcha. Okay, so what's the pleasure of the board on that one?
I have a problem.
You wanna keep it at 3?
I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it would be very hard for me to object from the will of the people,
Right.
stating that that's what their thinking is, that's their research, that's what their recommendation is. It would be hard for me to try to overstep that.
The question I have is, are we talking about changing all of residential from 3 to 4, or are we talking about any new residential that we approve would be 3?
I would think any new residential that has not, I mean, like right now, we have to go by the comprehensive plan that is in place at this second, until this one is made new. So that would be anything new after this is put into place.
So I guess my question is, like, if we have something that's already, like, our residential zoning is already, when we consider residential, what we want is 3.
It has to go with the book that we have.
Yeah.
So that we would have to change, we would have to vote to rezone every residential neighborhood right now to change them all to 4 if we wanted to do that. You know what I mean?
No, we would only go, it would be according to anything moving forward.
Right. So I guess the reason I ask is you guys are the ones who brought this up.
Yes.
Right.
And you already have a land that you're developing that's already zoned for 3, right? And so.
Well, right now it is farming residential. It is nothing.
Oh, it's zoned as farming residential?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
so
we need
it's
to
like
apply for
amendments.
rezoning.
Okay.
And we have been waiting on this new comprehensive plan so that as soon as it is released, we can submit our application.
I got you.
For last 2 years, we are hoping that new comprehensive plan will give us some good news.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
that sounds like it. Didn't sound like it.
But
It's not to say that you can't get the variance for certain
Yeah.
areas.
Like,
Um,
that's what our zoning appeals board is for, to, because I guess I'm preaching that this is a recommendation, this is not law. So if there was some kind of complaint and it doesn't go your way, that's why we have another board. Because we are a recommending board, we just recommend it to the trustees, we don't make the final say. So that would be something that would be, you could take it a little higher if you really wanted to pursue it.
Yeah, so I guess when you would,
I hope I'm correct.
if it goes forward and it stays at 3, then when you apply for your zoning change, you could then ask for a variance
Yeah.
to be 4.
yeah, I know that is a very difficult process.
It's not even zoned yet now anyway, so you guys have to do it regardless, I think, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because right now you said it's not zoned for residential anyway.
Right now it is, yeah.
Yeah,
Farming residential, yeah.
yeah.
Your concern was about schools, right? Whether it is 3 or 4, regardless, let's say as soon as you build the new homes, you need a new schools, regardless whether it is density is 3 or 4. So
That's a good point, but how many new schools do we want to build?
Yeah.
And how many can we build?
It is true because.
How many teachers can we hire and how many, all that stuff.
And right now, the schools, they're already working on the 5-year forecast. Now, I think almost every one of them is at capacity right now.
Yeah.
Last year, they had a little bit of room, but this year, they're at capacity.
And those forecasts are based on 3,
That's forecasting.
forecasts are based on 3 density.
Yeah,
And so if we bump up the density on them, all their forecasts are gonna be off.
so that's what, I mean, there's a lot
That's
of
why they
research
approach
goes
it one
on
at
in
a
the
time as
background.
opposed to just blanket.
Plus, like, Steve said, that this was made by, the word of the people who responded to everything that was sent out, like, the surveys, everything. I mean,
actually, we were part of those meetings and we were passively listening to those meetings. it was started with like 5 or 6, then we changed to 3. It was 5 for like first 8 months. In one meeting, it suddenly shot down to 3. So only one person was saying that day. That's it. I still remember that meeting like back in September or something like that. So, like,
Well, I mean,
one shot, it was shot down to 5 to 3. That's it. Nobody. It was not like a prolonged discussion. I didn't see any much research. To be honest, there was not much research.
well, I think I don't know, I'm just going by the surveys that they have, and of course, the schools, the schools recommendations.
We came back to that.
Yeah.
We can't, because previously when we were looking at the residential in the districts, we already looked at that and, yeah, we revisited and came back to it.
Our concern is that this new comprehensive plan will be used like a Bible. Then it is very difficult to challenge that Bible.
Well, it's more,
It's more of a guide.
yeah,
I know,
I wouldn't
It's
say
not
like the
law,
Bible.
it's guide. It's a recommendation. And I can't say it enough, because, I mean, look, hold on. This guy down here, this is what we normally go by, right here. This is all the resolutions of the entire township right in this book. This is not in this book.
Zoning resolution.
Oh, I see.
This is zoning resolutions, right here. This is what we go by when we see people in front of us that want to, like, change their zoning. We go by this guideline. We consult this, thank you, good word. We consult this. This is our Bible, right here. This is what we go by. This is our law. So if that makes sense at all. So if it falls in this guideline here, we will either approve or disapprove, whatever it may be. But we also do consult this to see, how is this land supposed to be used in this area? Is it going to fall in the guideline, the plan of what the township is wanting? It's kind of works together, but this trumps everything. Because this is actually the resolutions of zoning for the township. Am I saying that correct?
You are.
Good.
And it makes a difference where the land is located.
It does.
If you're south of 70, you're in well systems, wells and septic systems for the most part. So if you're developing land there, then you have to meet the requirements for well acreage, which was usually an acre to an acre and a half before you can put in a well. So you can't have 3 residences in an acre and have wells as your only source of water.
Yeah.
So
That's a very good point.
Yeah, and then sewer and water is a whole nother ballgame on that one, because they're backed up. They're trying to get lines into Etna in different areas, so it's just involved, I guess.
Justification for our ask also, one of them is, like you said, sewer. So this, our land has sewer, and it has capacity to serve even 600 homes.
It has
They're not
water
as many
and
600
sewer.
homes, but, I'm sorry?
It has both water and sewer?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is provided by Fairfield County, I'm sorry, thanks.
Well, then you might be able to get a variance.
Yeah,
That
that's
would
true.
work in your
Yes.
favor for sure.
But it's not zoned yet. No.
It is,
Right. It's still.
we are waiting on it. We
Yeah.
bought it and we found so many things after we bought it, otherwise it's not happening.
I get it.
And
So that's why I think when the board or the committee that put this together, that is, I see their reasoning on it, of the reason why. But like I said, doesn't mean you can't file for the variance of what you want. I mean, we have the zoning commission, the zoning board of appeals, we have the
They're
trustees.
not easy.
That's a trustee back there, so
Yeah.
it's neat. But, no, there's nobody here from zoning appeals today, but, that I know of. So, but we have different processes to go through, like, we could be your first step, but then it goes to the trustees. If the trustees approve it, then that's it. But if they don't, then you have the next step to go with the appeals board. So there is a way, but it is a process.
We are
Like,
working
if appeals
something
says
in
no, appeals says no. If they say yes, it's yes, so. But that's still, I mean, if you're willing to put in the time,
Yeah,
at the end, you get what you want.
we're more concerned about broader zoning,
Yeah.
like what agriculture, what residential zoning should be across the township. And I don't wanna change it to 4, just because a couple of areas might be good for 4, but most of them, I think, should be 3, that's why you have variances.
Yeah,
So, I'm fine with 3,
okay,
personally, I hear what you're saying though, because
yeah.
it raises the prices of the houses.
It is.
Yeah, I get that, but in general, I think across, I think 3 is where it is now, I think that's where people want it. Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, I
That's,
saw.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There's an avenue for more. But
Exactly.
right now, I'm at 3.
Okay. Do y'all agree? Know where I stand? I'm with 3.
I was on the committee.
So of course you
And
agree.
it was unanimous, they kept
Right.
You okay with 3 right now?
Okay with what?
The 3 being in there?
Yes.
Okay. So that one, we're good. What was the last one again? You never remind me, I'm sorry.
Was it the form-based zoning? I know Dave had some concerns about the form-based zoning, just because it was just in this area of that property.
I think it'll become part of the new resolution that would only apply to the central part.
Part, right?
You okay with that, then? Because I know you had concerns about it at first.
Something we have to learn about and study about. Yes, I think it will work for
I think it
everyone.
would. Well, okay, good. I agree.
Okay.
I wanted to hear your opinion of it first before I,
Of course you're good.
because your opinion is huge.
No.
It's, the motive is centrally located, 1. 2, it's new.
Mhm.
We gotta adapt to it. And then it buffers on its way out.
Yeah, and it looks better. I
And
mean,
it works. As it flows out, it becomes less relevant.
Right.
But initially, when you're looking for walking traffic and things of that nature, the coffee shop, stuff like that, I see where it has, you know,
I do like that. I mean, I personally like that, but I come from a little larger town, but, I do like that. It still keeps the ruralness that everyone wants, but it still has that like in center town kind of feel.
But the main thing to remember on this, like you keep preaching, it's a guide.
Exactly.
The only way any of this is gonna be enforced by zoning is with the implementation committee, that you change your zoning code.
Correct.
This part and that buffering section in here
Mhm.
doesn't supersede your buffering section right now unless you change it in zoning.
And that's where I was saying.
Well, we don't want to do that.
This
until we
is
get the-
like,
Right, I think that was kind of a little
Yeah.
confusing in Jim's
Right.
presentation
It
because,
was.
he thought it was automatic, or he
yeah, well, I don't know that he thought that, but others might have
thought
thought that.
that, right?
Yeah.
You gotta go, because even the current future land use
Right.
book had an implementation committee recommendation, and it didn't happen.
Correct. Yeah, that's why I said this is this is what we go by, this is our guide, the main
We
one.
have to look at that.
Yeah. We can consult, but this is what we go by. And if we decide to change this, then that becomes law.
Madam Chair, I'm comfortable with that.
Good, okay. Now,
So really, there was no change, you're comfortable with the way it is in the book.
Yes.
So
correct,
right now, the only thing we're changing is the issue with Schuster Way.
that is correct, that's the only
Other
thing
than
that we
grammar
saw.
corrections that Dave's gonna work.
Yes.
And table 14, Royals.
Yeah, that was one of Dave's.
That's one of the
Okay.
corrections. So, yeah, because that's just a typo correction, that's a duplicate, as they say. Okay, so, are we ready to put this to bed?
I am.
Okay, I am. Good,
I like it.
okay,
I do too.
good, okay. Schuster, just want to make
Yes.
sure I say that correctly. All right, so, the zoning commission has looked at the plan, made a few suggestions for clarification that have been included in the plan presented at tonight's regular meeting. So the change in amendments that we see would be on the new documents that were sent to us by email. And that would be on page 40 and 45 to remove Schuster Way extension. So on page 40, that is number 7. On page 45, that is the map that entails the Schuster Way extension. So therefore, is there a motion to forward the comprehensive plan presented tonight to the trustees?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
We gotta wait for a second. Because we need Laura.
Where's she go?
Or in,
Oh, great.
Gary.
And if I have to repeat this, I will. I hope I said it exactly the way I
It's
did
good
before.
rehearsal.
It was a great
Good rehearsal with John.
I actually said
Your own take.
Schuster correctly. She's gonna love this on the minutes, I'm sure. By the way, thank you all for coming, restating everything. We appreciate it. It's always nice to see a face in the crowd. And this is a very important matter, I believe, being a part of Etna myself. And I believe we all do agree on that. We appreciate when the public does come and speak your concerns. Helps us. I can't say I lost a second, so can you tell?
Yes.
It's a salesman thing to me.
Would you live over there?
I don't.
He's gonna go there.
She's good. Her hand's on the door. Highlight. She went the other way. She did.
So we can't take a vote unless she's in the room?
Well, she calls for the roll call.
One of us can do that.
No, I don't think so. Our clerk would have to do it.
What motion?
So if she's sick.
Do you want me to repeat it?
Oh, you're not gonna let him fix this stuff first? I thought you were gonna go to Jim for the corrections.
Do we want to go ahead and put in there that Dave's gonna go to the corrections first? What should we do?
I don't really have an opinion on that.
Well, we can set it up by saying the one thing on Schuster we want to change.
Because that's everything you got. I
Yeah.
gave you guys a sample of what Dave gave you.
Right,
before.
Yes.
And then the other corrections and spelling errors.
Grammar and, typographical errors.
Primarily grammar,
Yeah,
Mostly grammar errors
omissions.
and omissions, okay.
but do we have to wait for those to be done before we send it up?
Send it
Because that
up
could
to
take
the-
another 2 weeks.
I like how you just said the motion,
Yeah,
including, the approval with the removal of the Schuster Way verbiage, with the amendments, added omissions of the edited.
okay, so I strike my previous,
You withdraw.
I withdraw this one and I'm gonna resend it. Is that the way I would do it, right? Okay.
Well, in answer to your process question, the company, as Jim's already explained them several times, we don't have a process.
No.
Yeah, so I think
This is
it's
just
fine.
out there in the
Because I
air.
don't think we need to eat up another meeting with this. Just-
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
thinking.
yeah.
There's no
We got other
reason
things
to
we
have
gotta deal
another
with.
meeting about this.
Right, we got other things we can deal with.
My
We should keep
goodness.
up another meeting.
Yes. Give it another try.
All right, second time to turn. It was good practice though, it was good. I said Schuster correctly. All right, so the zoning commission has looked at the plan and made a few suggestions for clarification that have been included in the plan presented at tonight's regular meeting. Also, we do recommend an amendment for page 40 and page 45 to remove Schuster Way extension. Page 40, that was number 7, and page 45 was the map. Also, we recommend just clarification of some corrections by Dave Olson, who will get with Jim to go over some grammatical and omissions, just to make sure that the document will be whole.
Okay, stop right there. For the minutes purposes, I'm gonna put all that in a discussion ahead of your motion.
Okay,
So now I want you to do your motion like Dave has here,
okay,
that your motion is gonna be to forward the comprehensive plan as amended and corrected
thank
There
you.
you go.
to the Board of Trustees. That's a short,
Good Lord, yes.
and it's gonna follow with the above.
Okay.
As noted above or something. That's how I would do, I'd make your motion short, and then the reference that you just said, that longer one, will be above it. Did he have a date on this one, this electronic?
Yeah, he did. Well, he kind of sent it in an email on that day.
I'm gonna go up to the top and see if he has a date.
I don't see one,
I would just reference the email date.
which was the 11th.
In your motion, I would reference that book email.
Clarification that has been included in, okay. So, should I say like presented at tonight's meeting, sent by email?
No, I wouldn't put presented at tonight's meeting, I would give the email date, because that's what you're going off of. We didn't present anything new,
It's provided on the,
provided by email on.
February 11th. Okay. Third time's a charm.
You don't have to read all that above stuff, just go to your motion.
Okay. So, is there a motion to forward the comprehensive plan presented, provided in the email on the February 11th to the trustees as amended and corrected?
some of the,
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please. Or do we just all in favor?
Petition McIntyre,
Yes,
sorry about that.
that's okay.
Shelley Marie Ipax,
Abstain.
David Olson,
Yes.
Adam Kelly,
yes.
Stephen Smith.
Yes.
Don't I have to abstain?
I don't think you
You
have
don't
to,
have
but
to.
I feel better if I abstain.
we're fine.
We should have.
I can put an explanation that you served on that board if you want.
Okay.
Please.
All right,
Thank you.
so,
So the other four were yes.
yes, and we are done with this. All right.
And then what we'll do is, we'll do a letter like we do for the zoning amendments, and you can sign it, or I can let you see it, and I can sign it for you or whatever.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome.
This is not normal, so what we have to do, like, when we usually do an amendment or whatever, of course, you know. Thank you. New territory. All right, so it doesn't look like there's any new business. Is there any public comments? Just as a reminder, there's a 3-minute per person limit, please.
John Kennard, 10785 Palmer Road. I just got some questions for you. I live on Palmer Road and when I built out here, you had to have 5 acres to build a home in Etna Township. We just had someone build a house on Palmer Road, just west of Tollgate. As they built their house, they built their outbuilding, and then they decided they wanted to sell 1.88 acres to build another house. Well, when I thought that the regulations were for a house that's 3-bedroom, it had to have 5 acres for the septic tank and the well. These folks built this house on 1.8 acres. I would be surprised if the distance between the two homes are legal. Their propane tank is just about on the farmer's property line. Their driveway is just about on the property line. And that's, I don't know if there's something changed in the zoning that maybe farmers can now sell 2 acres and make more money than the required 5 acres. Palmer Palmer Road hadn't changed probably in 60 years. We kept first out here, when my wife lived here, it was gravel. They put a little oil on the gravel to keep the dust down. Then we got tar and chips. Then we got some kind of a mixture of gravel and asphalt. And now we're blacktop, and even got stripes on the road. But, Country Time came in and bought the farm right at the curve of Palmer Road and Lynn's Road. The farmhouse was right on the corner of Lynn's Road and Palmer. They divided all that property out into 5-acre lots, and that farm went north on Lynn's Road and goes up to I think the first house up there. So they divided all those lots off into 5 acres, except the two that's right on the corner of Palmer Road, the 90-degree bend on Palmer Road, and the one on the south side, I think it was like 7 acres. Well, they was going to split that lot. That guy bought that property, and said, well, I'll split that, and we'll build 2 houses. Well, I seen the Licking County Board of Health out here, and I went down to see what was going on, and they said they was citing that up for 2 sites, 2 building sites. And I said, oh, really? I said, yeah. So I came up, checked with zoning, and they said, no, they can't do that. They have to have 5 acres. And of course, it didn't happen. But now, a few years have passed, and this happened on Palmer Road. And I think Palmer Road might be the only road that goes from the east property line of Township, Etna Township, all the way to the west side. I mean, if we look, I think Palmer Road's considered a country road, not like refugee and that, but, that was just my question, is if there's something changed in the zoning and with the Board of Health that you can have, because if your well goes dry and you gotta drill another well, if you don't have an adequate number of acres to have that distance, because you have to have a certain distance from your well and your septic. Mm-hmm. And, you're putting yourself in a box if this gets, downsized like this, so that was about the only thing I had. I had another question is, this happens in the trustee meeting too, is they always, they wanna approve the minutes of the meetings, the last meetings. Who records the minutes at these meetings?
There's a little recorder right over there that records every single syllable that is said.
So if you would come in and ask for a copy of the minutes, you get a recording, or?
They are transcribed,
Okay.
and
So
then you can get, someone actually transcribes every, recording. And
That's
some,
usually how that makes fun. We don't transcribe word for word. I do the minutes off of that recording. So if you come in and ask for the minutes, you're gonna get a paper copy. If you come in and ask for the audio, you would get the audio copy. There you
That's
go.
what I wondered.
I don't do word for
I've
word.
never seen anybody sit and do a minute, something like shorthand or whatever, like.
she's great, but I don't know if she would. Yeah, Laura's the best person to go in and ask. If you ever do want that, that is, something she can provide for you.
Yeah, the zoning inspector will be able to answer your question as far as the zoning question that you had.
Exactly, and
The health department handles the
Hello,
well and
there you
septic
are.
question.
Yeah, I don't think that's been changed though.
that from everything I know, it hasn't been changed. We didn't do anything to change it.
If you live in an agriculture district, which I'm sure you do, it's on agriculture, then the minimum lot size is 5 acres. It's a quarter house.
And I heard that with
And that
this
has not
incident,
changed for
there
years.
was a loophole in the zoning or whatever, but it was farmland and it was, sold originally as a 5-acre plot.
Right.
Well, without having the zoning inspector will be able to look at the map and see exactly what it is.
Right.
We're just gonna let you know what we
Give
think.
me a call tomorrow, John, and I'll see what I can do.
Huh?
Give me a call tomorrow and I'll see what I can look into.
Well, I mean, it's already hit. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to be a troublemaker, but
No,
I just
but it's good to know
Is
things that are going
is
on.
this the Harvey property?
Farm?
This is the Harvey farm?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's
It's like Palmer and Tollgate.
it's basically the first new house that's been built on Palmer Road, west of Tollgate.
Okay.
You'll know it, they like high five each
Yeah,
other.
basically, 2 houses.
One
Don't they need a permit before they build anyway?
Oh, certainly.
So somebody's permitted it,
Yeah,
somebody,
yeah,
and you wanna know how come?
yeah.
Me too.
Country Club reason.
Probably, yeah.
Sounds good.
Freddie can get that for
I
us.
made all my minutes, but
You did.
You're okay,
No, I was shocked for that second also.
yeah.
I was shocked for that second also.
Anyone else have any public comments? No one?
We do have Mr. Papola's email that they submitted to us, so
Okay.
we do
Yes, sir,
have
we
that
received that.
as part of
Yes.
our,
Yeah, we did receive that.
Oh, thank you.
yes,
Yeah.
and as part of our official meeting record, thank you.
It's in my book here.
Okay.
All right, so if there is no other public comments, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I will motion to adjourn the zoning commission meeting for this evening.
Thank you for that. And is there a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, 7:12?
Mark, I'm kind of interested, what were you sharing out there?